There's a big difference between the two types of bonds that we're going to talk about today: a 10% bond and a surety bond. A 10% bond basically gives a bond amount, like say a $10,000 bond that's only $10,000 in name only. The people see that and they think, it's a $10,000 bond. The reality is that people only have to pay $1,000 to get that person out. A surety bond is a lot different than that. A surety bond, you have to actually be responsible for the full bond amount. If you use a bail bond agent, they have to have collateral for the $10,000 plus the 10% down. In essence, this is creating a cash-only system, which has been determined to be unconstitutional. Who would, in their right mind, be on the hook for $10,000 when they can pay the court $1,000 with no accountability? Do you have to pay the total bond amount if a person misses on a 10% bond? No, you lose 10% only. So people wonder, why can they call it a $10,000 bond if you never have to pay $10,000? Why do we have so many people with warrants on them from Ohio? Where does the money go when people pay the 10% bail to the court? And just how many people do we have in Ohio that have active warrants on them from these 10% bonds? And how is the court system spending the money that's collected on these 10% bonds? Do they use it to help find the people? Do they actually use it to pay to return people to court if they find them in a different county or state? And why would judges use a value on a bond that is never actually accounted for? So, why would they give it a title like a $10,000 10% bond? If there's never $10,000 at stake, why would they call it that? If they're only going to secure $1,000 to let the person out and never go after the $10,000, why wouldn't they just call it what it is, a $1,000 cash-only bond? On the topic of bail in Ohio, there's two main purposes of bail: to guarantee appearance and for public safety. Surety Bail Bonds has a nationwide network that returns people to court when they miss their court date. The current system of using 10% and OR bonds does not have that same network. Surety bail bonds cost taxpayers no money whatsoever, but our current system that has been overwhelmingly used in Ohio is the 10% system and OR bonds. And that they are not taking the court seriously. They understand that if they miss court, nothing's going to happen to them. Surety bail costs the taxpayers hardly any money at all. And in order to stop the money train that taxpayers are paying, we need to use more surety bail. Now they're looking at trying to use risk assessment tools, which is going to cost us even more money on an unproven system with more people with active warrants throughout the nation. The bail system in Ohio is not broken, but it has been misused over the last several years. 10% bonds is how the court has been generating revenue, and this system has not been tracked and is unaccountable. Now Ohio is considering another unaccountable tool, a risk assessment tool. The solution has always been here. The accountable bail system is surety bail, but the court continues to use 10% bonds, OR bonds, at the risk of the public safety and costing the taxpayers a lot of money. If we want an accountable system, surety bail is the answer.